and welcome to another episode of Pet Pals. As you can see, we have a handful on today's show. I am Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control, and trying to wrangle these guys with me is Tammy. First up, we have a pair of puppies. There are actually 3 in this litter, but their brother Zeus is being adopted. So we have on the show for you today Thor, who's over there with Tammy. He has the thicker white stripe on his face, and over here with me is Lola, and she has the thinner white stripe going down the front of her face. They're about 3 to 4 months old. They were previously owned, but now they're here with us so that we can find them new homes. Because they are puppies, we are doing them through the puppy process, which we've talked about before on the show. That means that we take up to 4 applications for each of these guys, and then we choose the best fit for the dog. Puppies are adopted for a fee of $150. Puppies tend to be more of a responsibility because they rely totally on us to teach them what is appropriate behavior and not. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't give them the training that they need, and then they end up back here as older puppies that are a little bit more unmanageable. So we want to make sure people understand that responsibility. So that's part of why their fee is a little bit higher. But also, puppies just require more medical care in the beginning. So that covers our costs here while we're caring for these guys. When you're applying for one of our puppies, we also have an extended application so that we ask more questions about your experience with the breed of the dog. We ask you what's your experience with raising puppies, what your plan is, because they are not house trained. They need somebody who's going to be able to be home and get them working on those types of things as well. These guys are pit bull mixes, and unfortunately, a lot of apartments and people who rent pit bulls are not allowed for various reasons. So if you're looking at these guys and you live in an apartment, you want to make sure before you even come in, check with your landlords to make sure that you are allowed to have a puppy like these guys, or any type of see what the breed restrictions are where you're living, so that you're prepared. You're not going to come in and fall in love and get disappointed, because we do check with landlords before we adopt out any animals to make sure that you are within your limit of animals that you're allowed to have, and also that you are having only animals that are in the breeds that you're allowed to have, the weight size, things like that in your apartments. Many of the dogs that are living at the shelter right now have either been on the show recently or are being scheduled to be adopted, which is a great thing. One of the dogs that no longer have any applications and have been here for a long time is Titan. And Titan is our longest dog resident. He arrived on November 1st, and he's still here. Sometimes Titan doesn't show very well in his kennel because he gets excited and he jumps and things like that. But he's doing a lot better now that his neighbor Murphy has been adopted. Titan and Murphy weren't necessarily the best of friends. They kind of antagonized each other a little bit. But now that Murphy's gone, Titan's doing a lot better. He's much calmer in his kennel. Titan is one of the dogs that a group of volunteers have been working with fairly consistently. So he has been working on his manners. He knows things like sit, down, paw. He walks pretty nicely on a leash. He does require a harness, however, because he can pull a little bit. He can also be a little chewy on his leash and things like that. But he's doing very well. One of the things that Titan loves the most is just to play. You take him out in the play yard, and that's when you see who Titan really is. As you can see right now, he's loving all of the toys. He likes to just run around in the play yard. He loves attention. He's just a very sweet guy, but sometimes it's hard to see that because he gets so excited when you approach his kennel. But as I mentioned earlier, he has been doing a lot better. He's a lot calmer when you approach him. Titan is a dog with a high energy level. He's a pit bull mix, so if you were to think about taking him home, you have to make sure that you can provide him with all of the outlets that he needs. He needs long walks and hikes and runs and time running in the yard, whether it's your yard or a dog park somewhere where he can get rid of all of that energy that he has built up. Even if he's inside, he does need to have something to keep him occupied. Like right now, he's able to play with the toys here on the rug. He's perfectly happy and content. He's still working out some of that energy, so that he's got that mental stimulation going. That's going to be very important for Titan. One thing that we have noticed here in the shelter is that sometimes when he has the soft toys, the squeaky toys, he does destroy them, which is fine, but he can't have them when he's unsupervised because he was chewing on the inside piece that's the actual squeaker. If you were interested in Titan, you can stop in and visit with him here at the shelter. He is one of the animals on our Marty Paws promotion event for February. So if you were to adopt him, you would get a $20 reduction in your adoption fee because he's part of that promotion. So instead of the normal $92.50, he would be going home for $72.50 during the month of February. A while back, we had a large rabbit population. We had about 7 rabbits on the adoption floor, and we've since adopted all of those out. But then we added 2 new rabbits to our shelter. Beatrix, who is a lionhead mix. She's white with some black and gray spots. And then Sweet Pea, who is on the show today. She is a black mini Rex, and she is living up to her name for sure. She is very sweet. She's very easy to handle. She's just a love. She's so sweet. But she does need to go to a special home because Sweet Pea is, we're saying she's blind. Some of the kennel techs that I've been talking to say that they think she might be able to see a little bit because when they're cleaning her cage and feeding her, they can see that she's tracking them a little bit. So maybe she can see shadows, something, but her vision is not 100%. So whoever's going to take her on needs to be prepared and able to provide the care that she needs because she does have those special needs. You want to make sure that she's safe, that she's not going to fall, that she's not going to run into things and all of those important things that you might not need to necessarily worry about if she were able to see a little bit better. She is an orange color-coded rabbit. So she's, again, we're talking about our color coding. She's more of the average. She's, again, as I mentioned, very easy to pick up, to put in her carrier. She doesn't really put up a fight. She has been eating well, drinking well, not using her litter box quite 100% yet, but she has not yet been spayed. Generally, once rabbits have been spayed, neutered, they start using their litter box with a little bit more accuracy. You can litter train rabbits just like you could a cat. An odd thing that's kind of in Sweet Pea's history is that she is a stray. She was not previously owned, so unfortunately someone put her out or she escaped somehow, and she was brought to us as a stray. She is an adult rabbit, but we have no real indication of how old she is, so we're just saying that she's an adult. We don't want to mislead people and say that maybe she's 3 when she might actually be 7 or something like that. So she is just an adult. She is a mini Rex, and they have the softest fur. It's so soft. Everybody's got to touch it on the show today. Everybody had to get a feel because it is amazingly soft. She is going to make a great addition to anyone's family, but you do, again, have to make sure that you're prepared not only to take on a rabbit with all of their special needs, because they do have different needs than your traditional cat and dog. You want to make sure you're doing the research, visiting the House Rabbit Society's page. They also have a handbook to having a house rabbit, just so that you're fully understanding what you're getting into. It is a large responsibility, but also the added responsibility of being able to care for her with her vision loss, so that she's going to live a nice, long, happy life. If you are thinking that she's going to be a good fit for you, especially if you're an experienced rabbit owner, you want to stop in and visit with her here at the shelter. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and our rabbit adoption fees are $50. Over Christmas, we had a crazy large guinea pig population. At one point, we had about 21 guinea pigs here in the shelter that we were trying to rehome. Since then, we've been able to adopt many of those, but we still have about 8 on our adoption floor. The ones that have been there the longest are these 2 that we have on the show for you today. These guys are Frankie and Chase, and they have been in the shelter since September, which is really kind of a long time for them to have been with us. Over there on Tammy's lap, the white one with the red eyes, the albino, is Frankie, and he's an American guinea pig. And then on the outside is Chase, and he is the black and white, and he's an Abyssinian guinea pig. These guys are a bonded pair, so we will only adopt them together. When you do adopt guinea pigs from us, our standard adoption rate is $10, but when you get two for $15. Frankie is about 2.5 years old, and then Chase is about 1.5 years old. They're not siblings, but they weren't adopted at the same time, but they have been living with each other for over 1 year. So they are very comfortable and spend the majority of their time together. Frankie seems to be a little bit more outgoing. He'll come out and let you pick him up a little bit easier. When you're handling Chase, it's going to be more of a kind of chase him around the cage a little bit before you're able to pick him up. But as you can see, they're perfectly content sitting on Tammy's lap, being petted. It's important when you're taking home a guinea pig and making them part of your family, whether you're adopting them from us, which is always our recommendation, or you're buying them from a pet store, that you are giving them time to be handled and interacted with. You can't expect your guinea pigs or your rabbits or your hamsters to be friendly and outgoing if you constantly are just leaving them in their cage. Guinea pigs especially are very social creatures. That's why they do better when they have a friend. They like to talk to each other. They are herd animals. They're prey animals of all kinds, tend to prefer to have a friend to keep them kind of company and let them know that they're safe, able to warn them when something's coming, things like that. These guys will talk to each other, but if you're getting guinea pigs that haven't been living together, you do need to slowly introduce them to one another. You can't just put 2 guinea pigs in a cage and assume that they're going to get along. It's a slow introduction process. If you're looking for more information about how to properly care for a guinea pig, we recommend visiting the Small Angels website. We provide all of our rodent, guinea pig, small animal adopters with information that we've gotten from their website. They have a lot of great resources that can give you all the information you need to know about cage requirements, how much time they need to have out getting exercise, what you should be feeding them, how you should be grooming them, any type of treatments that they require. It's going to be a great resource for you. When you're getting guinea pigs as well, you want to make sure that when you're housing them together, they are the same sex. Frankie and Chase are both boys because you don't want to have a bunch of little guinea pigs running around. If you are interested in these guys, you want to stop in and visit here at the shelter. We are again open to the public 6 days a week. You can visit any of the animals during our open kennel hours, which are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, on Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and on Saturday from 10 to 4. That's going to wrap it up for this portion of the show. After the break, we are going to introduce you to some of the cats that are available for adoption here at Animal Control.
Catoctin Creek Nature Center is excited to offer field trips year-round for public, private, and homeschooled students from pre-K through high school. A hands-on experience will allow students to discover and explore the wildlife in the Piedmont region of Maryland. Topics will include Catoctin Creek critters, investigating insects, and seasons of change. Having fun, exploring, and educating are the components that make Catoctin Creek Nature Center such an excellent resource for outdoor education. For more information or to schedule a field trip, please call our main office at 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.
Welcome back to the show. Our first cat guest is Cassiopeia, and she is one of our moms here at the shelter. Some of her kittens have recently made their way back in. They are the last kind of litter from last kitten season. Because it was so warm, we were having kittens still in December. And Cassiopeia came into the shelter as a stray, very pregnant, in November. And she went into foster care where she had her kittens, and she came back a couple of days ago, was made available for adoption, and then even more recently, some of her kittens came in. 3 of her kittens were made available for adoption. They are all named after constellations. Cassiopeia is young, about 1 to 2 years old. She's very friendly, but she is very outgoing, very curious. And according to her foster mom, she is a talker. If you're looking for somebody that's going to be able to sit and chat with you and let you know that they're around so you don't feel lonely, then Cassiopeia might be a solid choice for you. She has that great black and white color pattern, the adorable cute pink nose, and she's going to come right out and kind of reach out for you in her cage. She's not shy. So if you like the cat who calls to you, then she might be a good choice. However, we do have plenty of cats on the adoption floor. So if you're looking for something that maybe is a little bit more reserved, a little quieter, we have some of those as well. But right now we do have quite a few chatty cats in the shelter. She is color-coded as green, and green here kind of just means a higher energy level. We call it go, go, go. So she is going to be one of those cats that's going to be more playful, maybe making a little bit more noise, doing her late night play, those types of things. But as she gets older, she'll settle in and mellow out a little bit as well. All cats kind of do things when they want to do them. So even though she's been curious and been trying to get down a little bit to explore, she is happy getting the attention, sitting on a lap. She's been needing a little bit, but there's so much going on in here that she really wants to get into and explore. And that's how she's going to be in your house. She's going to want to check out every little bit. She might have some hiding places that she is fond of, things like that. So even if you have a lot of kids that want a cat that's going to be very active with them and play with them after school, Cassiopeia might be a great choice for that as well. Again, stop in and visit her here at the shelter. Our adoption fee for all of our cats and kittens is $97.50. The next cat that we have for you is Billie Jean, and she is about 1 to 1.5 years old, and she's a gray cat. Right now we have lots and lots of brown tabbies. So Billie Jean, Cassiopeia, Norma Ray, who's going to be on the show Norma Jean, who's going to be on the show a little bit later. They are going to be kind of the exceptions to that. They're the ones who have a little bit of a different coloring than what you're going to see as you walk through most of the shelter. Billie Jean did come to us as a stray, so we don't know a lot about her. What we found is that she does have a higher energy level. She will ask for attention. She rubs up against the cage and wants to be petted. She's trying to get down and explore here on the show today, but she's perfectly happy to get attention, as is the case with most cats. We've also seen that after long periods of being petted by volunteers, she kind of will let you know that she's had enough, as many of the cats here will. They don't have an ability to be able to just walk away. So sometimes they let you know through, obviously, their body language, verbal cues, and if we don't listen to those things, then sometimes they give us little love bites and things like that. They might swat at us to say, hey, that's enough attention for right now. I think somebody told me that she did that the other day, but it was after about 20 minutes of sitting in the cage and petting her and stuff like that. That's normal cat behavior. We shouldn't really be penalizing them. Because they are here in the shelter and they get a little overstimulated sometimes, and they have no escape when they're getting too much attention. So we want to be very patient with them and understanding. We wouldn't necessarily like to be living in a confined space for an extended period of time like many of the animals here do. She is also a little chatty. That whole kind of front section of the shelter, they are talkers with Zuki and Ricky, who have been on the show before. Calvin and Hobbes, Cassiopeia and Billie Jean, they're all kind of in that same area, and they all kind of chit-chat with one another. So when you first walk in the door, that section is going to be all of our chatty cats. If Billie Jean has sparked your interest and you want to find out more about her, the first step is to come here to the shelter and read her profile and then visit with her. Again, we are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, if you wanted to stop in. Lilo is one of the many brown tabbies that we have at the shelter right now. She's about a year old, and she came to us as a stray, so we don't know, again, a lot about her. But she probably was owned at some point because we color-coded her as orange. She likes attention and affection. When she first came in, she had a little scab on her nose that was shaped like a heart. And people really liked that about her. It made her unique. But since that has healed, and so that's fallen off. So she's still just as cute. She just doesn't have that cute little heart on her face anymore. She is one of our animals that has recently had a cold. Many of the cats on the adoption floor will at one point or another get a cold. It's very similar to the types of colds that we get as people. They have sneezing, runny nose, nasal congestion, weepy, watery eye. They just don't feel great. So we take them off the adoption floor for a period of anywhere from 7 to 14 days, and we medicate them and make sure that they get better. Keep them isolated from other animals that are healthy, and then put them back out on the adoption floor once they're able to be placed back out there and go to a forever home of their own. When we put them out on the adoption floor, we kind of have the adoption floor on the cat side separated a little bit. So when you first come in, that row that's closest to the wall and the door is going to be all of the cats that have not yet been sick. On the other side, when you're getting towards the small animal room, the kitty cabana, all of the cats on that side have been sick, and that's where Lilo lives, as well as several other cats that are also looking for homes here at the shelter. As you can see, Lilo's been perfectly content sitting on a lap here. She spends a lot of time in her bed and just hanging out, watching people walk by. There was a time where there were some other animals really close to her cage, and she would want to look out and see who is over there. She's very curious, so she might do well with another cat in the home. But just like we talked about with the guinea pigs, you don't want to just toss two animals together. You want to make sure that you're giving them supervised interaction, for shorter periods of time, then increasing them so that they can get used to each other. Not all animals are the best of friends right when they first meet. And some animals might not like each other at all, but that doesn't mean that it's not a successful integration into your home. It just means that they don't want to hang out, and that's fine. As long as they're not hurting each other, that's all we really need. But if you want to make Lilo part of your family, you can stop in and visit her here at the shelter. If you want to check her application status before you make the trip in, you can always call us at the shelter. Our number is 301-600-1546. Norma Jean is our next guest, and she has a very interesting color pattern on her. She's got the white body with the little white, the black spots, and she's got that very kind of proportionate line down the center of her face there, where she's got the black spots on either of her ears. She reminds me of one of the cats that we had here for a while several months ago named Babar. So anytime a cat comes in, that's the first thing I think of is they look like Babar. She's got a very sweet little face. She's got a very round face, and it's just so sweet and so cute. Right now, she's a little distracted by all the noises. The air vents are blowing, and so she doesn't really quite know what to make of that. She is another one of our green color-coded cats, so she's going to have the higher energy level, and we've kind of seen that she wants to really get down. She doesn't want to hang out necessarily on a lap. And that's okay. Cats all have different personalities, just like every individual person has a unique personality. So some cats are perfectly content, like Lilo, to sit on a lap and hang out and get petted. Other cats would prefer to sit next to you and maybe not be on you. Some cats just want to be in the room with you, and they don't necessarily want you to be cuddling with them all the time. Some of them will sit on your lap but not want to be picked up. It's just up to you as the owner to figure out where your cat stands and what they like and don't like. I've seen a lot of people who try to force their animals to behave a certain way. They want a cat who wants to cuddle, so then every time they see their cat, they're picking it up, and the cat doesn't like it, it fights to get down. So then it starts the pattern of when the cat sees you, they know you're going to try to pick them up, they don't like it, and then they run off. So the best thing to do is just to be patient and let them show you what they like, and work within the confines of what they want to do and are willing to do, and just making it work. You know, the younger cats, the green cats, if you have a family that really wants to play with the cat all the time, they want someone who's going to be up for laser pointer and, you know, chasing things down the hall and jumping up for strings and stuff like that, then the green color-coded cats are really going to be a good fit for you, because they are going to be the more active ones. If you're looking for a cat that's going to be more apt to sit on your lap and cuddle, then you want to start looking for maybe the blue or the orange color-coded cats. Even some of the Shire cats are more into that. If you wanted to stop in and visit with Norma Jean or any of the animals that you've seen on the show today, just stop in. We are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and our location is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. For the last cat on the show today, we are continuing our all-girls theme with Gidget. And Gidget is another one of our brown tabbies, and she's also about a year old. We have a lot of young cats. We don't have a ton of kittens, but we have a lot of young cats that still have a lot of playfulness in them, and Gidget is one of those. She's also one of those cats that's already been sick, that she's going to be on that far side of the adoption floor. Gidget was previously owned, and she came to us, it looks like, it says because a daughter was surrendering the animal because it was her mom's cat and her mom got sick, but it also says the cat keeps getting pregnant. So we have already spayed Gidget, but it's really important to spay and neuter your pets. If you cannot afford to get that done yourself, there are a lot of programs locally where they can help you do that. You can contact the Humane Society. They are there to help provide financial and informational assistance to pet owners in the county. So you can reach out to them. You can come to us. We do, most of the time we don't have spay and neuter programs here, but we have a list of other organizations who do have spay and neuter programs. We can provide you with that information so that you can move on and get your animals spayed or neutered, especially your cats. Currently, we do have the Perfix grant, which will allow us to help people in Frederick County spay and neuter their animals within certain zip codes. So if you want to find out more information about that, you want to call the shelter, 301-600-1546, and you can ask for information about the Perfix grant. That's free. In addition to getting your animal spayed and neutered with that program, we also provide a rabies vaccine as well. So Gidget has been spayed, so hopefully the next home that she finds her way into, she will be there forever. Because she was previously owned, we do have some additional information about her personality, unlike many of the strays that were on the show today. It says that she does get along well with cats and dogs, so that's a good thing. She's been around children of various ages. She's very playful, she's friendly, she's calm. They were able to handle her, and she's a bit of a lap cat. She is also color-coded green, but as you can see, she's much more content and calm to kind of hang out here. She's not trying to get away like some of the other color-coded cats that were green. If you want to find more information, again, about Gidget or any of the animals you've seen on the show today, the first step is always to stop in and visit here. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We want to thank you for watching the show today, and we want to hope that you will tune in next week when we introduce you to several more of the animals that are looking for homes here in Frederick County at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center.